Okay, today I'm going to show you how to make this part in Autodesk Inventor. We're going to use two different methods, and then I'll let you choose which way that you want to use to make this part. One method is called the Additive Method, where we're going to add material to this and to make the part. And then the other method is called Subtractive, where we can actually make a big block and then take material away. So I'll show you both ways and then you can decide. So first start by making sure you click New Project in Inventor, and I'm going to click New and go ahead and click Next. Hopefully you've logged into your Google file stream. If you haven't done that, do that first. I'm going to go ahead and call this 4.2, or let's call it Model Creation Assignment. So I'll just call it Model Creation. Click the three dots and find your Google Drive. And again, if you haven't logged into FileStream, please do that. Showed you how to do that on a previous video. Click the down arrow under this PC. You should find your Google FileStream. Then click My Drive in your Engineering folder, and that's where we'll save everything. Go ahead and click OK and Finish. So we've created a project just for this assignment, so all of our parts will be in that folder. Go ahead and click Done. Now that we've created our project, we're ready to make the part. So click New Part. And Inventor is fairly slow, so it's a large program and it takes a while to run, so don't get frustrated with it. You can see it actually loading down in the bottom of the screen. Okay, and so this is the part that we're going to be making, so I'll kind of try to keep that in mind when we're making this part. So what I'm going to do on this part is I am going to draw the face of this part. So basically I'm going to draw this front face just like this in Inventor using lines. So all the way here down. So I'll draw that front face and then I'll extrude that back this way to make it three-dimensional. That's going to be the additive method. So we're adding material to make this part. Okay, so first thing you want to do is click Start a 2D Sketch. Don't click the down arrow. If you click the down arrow, it gives you lots of options here. We're just going to start a 2D sketch. So click Start 2D Sketch, and then you're going to select the plane that you want to create the sketch on. I usually select the XY plane. It doesn't really matter, except that if you get in the habit, this will help you if you ever take the Computer Integrated Manufacturing class where we'll actually make these parts. It'll help you if you select the XY plane. So going back to find some dimensions that I can use. So I'm going to start down here with this line right here. And if I follow my leader, my extension lines, I can tell that that line is 1/2 inch. So back in Inventor, I'll click my line tool. It's always important to start on the origin. So right now I haven't clicked, I'm just hovering. And if I just get the green dot, that's important, and then click, and then you can start drawing. So as you start drawing, notice there's a measurement that's highlighted in blue right now, and I want that to be 0.5. And then there's a degree measurement. If I want to change that, I can hit Tab. But I want to leave it at 180 degrees, so you don't have to hit Tab as long as it is 180. The big thing is make sure it is before you click Enter. So it's 180 degrees now and hit Enter. So that made my first line. Now if I go look at my drawing, this vertical line is 1.5 inches from there to there. So I'm going to go over here to Inventor and go up 1.5, and I want to be 90 degrees so the angle is correct. Hit Enter, and I'm going to zoom out so you can see I'm also going to pan down. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click my line tool again. Biggest thing there is if I want to start my new line, make sure that you have a green dot. If you don't, then your sketch will not be connected. So my next line in my drawing is this line right here, and that measurement, if this whole thing is 2, and then from here to here is 4, then this line is 1 inch, and actually it tells me that on the other side right here. So we're going to make that 1 inch. So again, green dot, and I want to be at 0 degrees. Type in 1, and the degree measurement is fine, so I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And I'm going to go, so I've done this line, now I'm going to go up 1 inch. So over here, we're going to go up 1 inch, hit enter. And use the line tool again. And then this line is 2 inches. That's shown right here. So over here, I'm going to go 2 inches. So type in 2. So I'm not clicking over here. And then I'm going to go down 1 inch again. So I'm not clicking when I'm dragging. I actually put the measurement in and then just hit enter. Okay, so I can do 1 inch and hit enter. Then again over 1 inch. And down 1.5. And 90 degrees, hit enter. That one again. And then we're going to come over 1/2 inch at 90 degrees, hit enter. Then go up. I've got to look at that measurement. That measurement is this one right here. And it looks like there's our indication of how big it is. So it's 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go up 1/2 inch. .5, hit enter. Over. This one is 3 inches. Hit enter. And then down 1/2 inch. And hit enter. Okay. If it's all in blue, you know you have drawn it correctly. That means it's all connected. If you've got any lines that are green, it's not connected. Now I'm going to click Finish Sketch. And if you click the home view, it will make that part where you can see it. So what we're ready to do now is make this three-dimensional by extruding this back the whatever our depth is, which in this case is 2.5 inches. So we're going to click Extrude, and it will automatically select the face that you just drew, and we're going to type in 2.5 and hit enter. So that's the basic shape. Now if we look at this, this also has this weird little rectangle on the side. So we're going to make that now. So to make that, I want to draw it on this side. So I want to click Start 2D Sketch and pick the side that I want to draw the rectangle on, which is right there. So instead of using a line tool this time, I'm going to use the rectangle tool. There's lots of shapes under rectangle, slots and different polygons, but we're going to use rectangle this time. So I clicked the rectangle, and I'm going to click and start dragging. Notice that the rectangle has 2 dimensions, a width and a height. So let's go back and look. I need my width to be 1.5 and my height to be 0.25. So we're going to come back to Inventor and do that. So width 1.5. Now don't hit enter here. Hit tab and then 0.25 and hit enter. Make sure I have that correct. Yes. The other thing we need to do is locate where the rectangle is. So this rectangle, the top of this line from the side of the shape that we drew before to the top of the rectangle is 0.75 inches. So I'm going to add that dimension in there. And as well, from the side of this part to the side of the rectangle is 0.5 inches. So we'll add those dimensions. So click Dimension, click the top of the shape, top of the rectangle, and then click Enter, or just click, and then type in 0.75. And that will move the rectangle where it's supposed to be. I'm also going to do the side, which was supposed to be 0.5. So I'm going to do the side of this to the side of the shape, and then drag down, click, and then I type in 0.5 and hit Enter. So there's our rectangle, and it's in the correct place. Now click Finish Sketch, and then we're going to extrude that rectangle. So the next thing to do would be to figure out how big it is, which is 0.75 inches. So from here to here, that's how far that extrusion is, and it's 0.75 inches. So we're going to click Start, or not Start 2D Sketch, click Extrude, click your rectangle that you just made, but change it to 0.75 inches, and click Enter. So there, if we click the home view, is the part using the additive method. At this point you would want to take a screenshot of this part. So you can search for the snipping tool on the desktop and click the snipping tool, click New, and then you can take a screenshot of the part. Now I do want to show you the subtractive method as well, so that you can kind of get an idea of which one you would like to use. Really, before I started teaching the junior and senior sim class, I would use this additive method a lot. But now that we have the CNC machine, if you know anything about a CNC machine, CNC machines take material away. So really it's better to use the subtractive method if you're going to CNC a part, because that's really easy to take the material away. 3D printers kind of use additive method because they add material, where CNCs take material away. So let's go ahead, and you would want to save this, by the way. You want to go ahead and save it, and you can just call it Part 1. I have other stuff in this engineering folder, but you could go ahead and call it Part 1. I'm going to totally start over on this part, and I kind of know the dimensions, so I'm not going to take very long on this one. I'll go back and forth. But this whole part, if we start a 2D sketch, this whole part, and I'm going to make it a rectangle, was 4 inches wide, I believe, by, let me go back and look at it, 4 inches wide by 2.5 inches tall by 2.5 inches deep. So in Inventor, I'm going to make it 4 inches wide, so 4 tab by 2.5 inches tall. Go ahead and click the home view, and then we can click Finish Sketch, and then I'm going to extrude it 2.5 inches. Okay, so I've made a block, and that's what I would really start out with on a CNC machine. Then what we're going to do is actually take out this material, this material, this material, then we'll add this rectangle at the end. So this is a rectangle right here that's 1 inch tall by an inch wide, so it's really a square, 1 inch by 1 inch, and then it's 2.5 inches deep. Same thing over here, it's 1 inch by 1 inch by 2.5 inches deep. Down here, this rectangle right here is 3 inches by a 1/2 inch tall, and then also 2.5 inches deep. So I'll make those 3 rectangles. I can do that all at once. So I'm going to start a 2D sketch on the front of my block, and I'm going to make these rectangles. So click the rectangle tool. I'm going to click home so that we can get there, go to the front. And I'm going to make the big rectangles first. So I want those to be 1 inch by 1 inch. In addition, I want to constrain the corner of this rectangle to the top corner of that rectangle. And it moves it down where I want it. Go ahead and hit rectangle again. And once again, now I could have just started it on the corner as a green dot, and then I can drag it and say 1 inch, tab 1 inch. So if you have a green dot, it will automatically constrain it. Okay. Then the next thing I want to do is make the rectangle down here, and that rectangle was supposed to be 3 inches by 1/2 inch tall. So 3 tab 1/2. Okay, now the only thing about that rectangle is I need to make sure it's the correct distance away on both sides. Right now you can tell it's not centered up. So I'm going to click Dimension, click the left of that and the left of that, and drag down and change that to 1/2 inch. So now it's centered. Now click Finish Sketch, click Extrude, and I'm going to select all 3 of my rectangles. But this time, instead of adding material, this second button is Cut Away Material. So that cuts away 2.5 inches of material, and click OK. And there's our basic shape. And then you can add the rectangle on the side, just like we did in the previous video.